Ahoy, hoy, Surface here. We're doing the second part of our Bandmaster 63 Bandmaster makeover. So basically what I'm going to do today is put the head chassis from the blonde original shell into the new brown tolex shell that matches the cabinet, the extension cabinet that we did in the last video. So you're wondering, maybe, possibly, just in case you didn't watch the other video, why would I do this? Well, somebody re-tolexed the blonde one, the original shell. I don't have to worry about damaging the original shell. I could take it out to gig in my new brown tolex with the ox blood and I guess it's gold thread. The precious thing to me about the original shell, other than that it's the original shell, because I do respect vintage gear, is that it also has intact inside the tube chart, which gives you, and you can still see the two-lettered stamp code, which tells you the year and the month that the this amp came out in the production. So my plan is, for the original shell, I'm not going to bother tolexing it or anything. I'm just going to leave it as is, and I'm going to keep it stored away safely and securely in a nice dry climate. And then that way, when comes the day that I have to move this amp on, I'll simply take it out of the brown tolex shell and put it back in the blonde one. And anyway, you may notice too, I don't have the Fender flat logos yet. I did place an order for a couple of reproduction ones, and I will put them on at some point, and I'm sure you'll see them in a later video when I demo a guitar or pedals or whatever. I'll definitely be using this amp too for fun, and you'll see it in its complete stage. So anyway, let's get to it. So what I got to do first is move the brown tolex out of the way. I'm going to put the blonde head on top, turn it around, and start to unscrew the back panels. Going to make sure everything is unplugged. Got to be careful with amps because they still store energy and stuff. Okay, so now you're going to see a very large, girthy man walk back and forth a lot and may get in the way of the camera. Sorry about that. I'll do my best not to pivot the camera. I'm just going to try to keep it straight because I know I made a lot of noise with the other one. I didn't realize the microphone was so sensitive. Oops. Anyway, so here we go. Learn as you go. Top quality production. All right. And the other cool thing, when I had this cab shell and the cabinet made, is from Will at Armadillo Amp Works in Texas. He provided me new, I'm sure I paid for him, but he provided me new chassis things, whatever you call them. What are they called? I forget. I always forget. They are called chassis straps. Large. Okay, so let's take this off. We're going to have to take this back panel off too. We might as well do that first. Let's see. Should have thought about putting them in a nice safe place so I don't lose yet more of these things. Okay. So I'm sure I have plenty of backup screws because the cab is missing one and a little couplet. You probably can't even see it. It's just so tiny. So I'll keep it on the screw so we don't lose it. I'm going to keep it far away from anywhere where it will roll off. I usually have a towel on my little tech table, and that keeps things from rolling off and stuff, also to protect the guitars when I'm working on them. By the way, I am not a professional, clearly. I just work on my own stuff. It's fun to learn. I've learned to refinish guitars, sometimes okay, sometimes definitely not okay, but I learn as I go. And it's just fun hobby, fun projects. I'm just taking them off because they're going to fall off anyway. The little, I guess you call them screw cups or something. I don't know what you call them. I do not know the technical term. Maybe it is cups, and maybe I just got it right on instinct. So here's the other thing too about the new chassis. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can see. Yeah. So Will already installed the clasp, so I just have to unscrew these, make them slide in and out to make sure they line up with the holes here. And I've got thumb screws that will secure it to that. I'm not going to use those right away. That's I think once I determine where in the room this has to stay put, because I don't want to have to lift the cab and the head at the same time. That's a lot of lifting. I mean, obviously you just unscrew them. So, but anyway, I won't secure it together until I'm happy with where I have it put it. I ideally wanted to put it where I have the 210 combo. Let's see if I can move this without making noise. See where the 210 combo is? Sorry for the doggy bed. To the left of the 210 combo with the 64 Fender reverb unit, you can tell it's the 64 because it's got the raised logo as opposed to the flat logo. Next to that is my big honking, sorry, it's going to make a little noise, Showman head. Okay, so let me quietly. We're back. There's a door to our kitchen. And we're back. And we're good. Okay. So, back panel off. And we're going to put that off safely to the side. And I don't know if you can see how that looks. That's a little dark, but I can tilt it up a little bit. It's lovely, I don't know what the wood is. It's reddish, so it's probably something very nice. Oak or redwood. I don't know. I don't know my fauna or flora. I don't know. It's wood, but it's very nice quality. Texas timber of some sort. Maybe. Or maybe from the Pacific Northwest. Okay, time find the plug for this bad boy. I think it's here. Okay. So we're getting the cord out of the way. We're going to lift this bad boy up. And we're going to bring him over to here. We're going to unhook the little foot switch for the tremolo. And gently take that out. And I will, it's very coiled up. Okay, woohoo! I'm going to set that aside, out of the way. And we're going to unhook the speaker cable jack that goes to the new speaker. 212. I have Jensen NK12 neodymium speakers in because they're nice and lightweight. These are the stock speakers you'd find in the Fender Bandmaster Twin Reverb, the black Tolex with silver grill. I actually have one that I'm using with my surf band to gig because it's lightweight and convenient and means less gear to haul. But this isn't too much heavier than before I had the speakers put in. So that's great. That was the previous video. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take off the panel, the back panel. See if those stay. Let me just put them up here for a moment. Okay, got two screws. Pardon crossing the screen. Here, there's a little one. In the last video, I had to take out like, I don't know, it's like 30 screws in the back of the 212 extension cabinet. Whoop, that one fell. Okay. The cup fell for the screw. So I have to be very careful they don't just fall out. So I will close this back up when I'm done, once it's empty. Not getting there we go. Okay, so let me move these screws first and foremost so I don't lose them. So one fell out. That one's pretty deep in. So I really smushed it. See me stepping on this cable, so I'm going to put this behind so I don't mess my feet up. Okay. Right. Okay, so this can come out. There we go. Actually, I have to make some room so I can put the chassis safely down for a minute. I'll do it on there. That'll work. Okay, I'll put it on my chair. It's got a cushion on it. Okay. So, can we see inside? Kind of, sort of. So what I'm going to do is take out the chassis first, and then you can kind of see on the right side inside there's a square piece of paper stuck to the inside. That's the tube chart, and it's on a lot of the amps and the I don't know how long they do it or if they still do it, but it has a 2-letter stamp that denotes the year and month that this thing was put out in production or made, or I don't know. It just gives you the time, you know, the approximate timeline when it was done, or time. Anyway, so the next thing we have to do is carefully unscrew the tops. Now, on these strap things, what are they called again? Names are technical. The chassis straps. When I take off the chassis straps, they actually have little nuts that are attached to these. So you have to kind of hold them in place to keep them from spinning so that you can actually get this released. So, and there's a little ledge here where the chassis will sit on, but you do have to be careful once you start pulling it out, because you don't want the tubes to fall off. And maybe more careful people would probably take the tubes out if they could first. I don't think I need to do that. So, I've done this too often. Okay, so what I have to do here is get all the way under there. Find the screw, there it is. I think I got it. Okay, that screw came off. There you are. Or a nut, sorry. A nut. And I don't know if this one's completely off. Don't think it is. I'm gonna have to keep at this one. There we go. That came off. Alright. So now, just wiggle it back and forth. See, the tolex, it's like it's not even glued well. It's come up. So I feel a little bit more relieved in knowing that this was a redo. It's not the original. Because if it was the original, this tolex would be really dirty because they don't stay clean if they're played out and stuff. And I mean, if this was a you know, a museum piece that was just stuck in somebody's home all the time, never moved, I could see that it could stay clean. But the gluing is just too new. Okay, we're back. Sorry, the battery died in the camera. So that's charging. The other one's charging up. Then I got a new one in. Anyway, so I will show you the tube chart. I don't know at what point I got cut off. But we just took out the screws, or the nuts and the chassis straps. So I'm just setting on the one side. Where is the nut for the other one? Oh, it must have fallen. Didn't get to it yet. So I gently feel around the bottom, and oh, that's another kind of screw. Oh, look. Oh, okay. So these have like a little sprocket that actually goes with that too. They fall off, so I'll make sure I put them back on together. So that's cool. The little spokey sprocket. The sprocket. Okay, so this side's done. And then once I have the chassis out, I'll set it aside and try to get a close-up of the tube chart inside. And that's how you can verify what kind of speaker or what kind of amp you got, what year it is. Because sometimes even some of the best vintage shops get it wrong. The 64 reverb unit I got from Carter Vintage, they listed it as a 62, and I didn't know anything at the time about the flat versus raised logos and the different years, but that's where I got on the journey about learning about tube charts, because they even have a tube chart in the external reverb unit. Alright, another screw done with the little sprocket. Ones closer to the back are easier to. You just kind of put your finger on the nut, hold it in place while the screw is turning with the screwdriver, and that will allow the screw to come loose. So now, again, yeah, I can even feel on this side. Just wasn't a very good recovering. Sorry whoever did this, but they just didn't. They did a crap job, but that's cool. Maybe they were learning. See, look at that. It's just crap. It's just not. So they just used terrible glue. It's just not holding it. But also, it's just not cut well. I'm by no means perfect, but I could show you on this one how on the cab, pardon for any noise, on the extension cab, let me just show you. This is a little longer and it overlaps. This is the line between this piece and this piece, and it overlaps. It's nice and seamless. It's just not great. I mean, this one's a little overlapping, to be fair. But on this side, it's just barely. It just wasn't done right. It's a fraction. So technically it is over it, but this is over this, but it's... And that's how you would do it, because looking at the extension cab again, the main piece would be over the side piece, but it's just barely on there. Not even a millimeter. Maybe a millimeter or two. I don't know my metric, so I could be completely off, but I'm pretty sure millimeter was the smallest. the new math. Anyway, got the other chassis strap off. Okay, now comes the time where I have to carefully And what I usually do is I'll hang on to this big transformer and slowly side to side move this bad boy, because I want to hold it so the, see, here it comes, here it comes. It's going to be a little bit back and forth here because I don't want the amp to fall through. So there's some other transformers or big components that I probably am naming wrong, just to make sure I've got the weight and I always check in the back here in this back left corner if there's a depth cap, which was a capacitor that Fender used to put on these things. It's one of these little blue ones. I'll show you the whole thing in a second here. But I always tend to take them out because I don't want to die. And I'm sorry, but once you hear the word death cap, you want to get them away from your computer. Some people leave them, or not computer, but guitar amp. Some people may just leave them in and ignore them. They're normally, I'm hoping you can see this. This is the area to be in, but it seems to have been removed. It's very clean, very tidy. I'm hoping you can see this. I don't want to set it down, but it's got numbers on it. TB3263, 63 being the year, and it's done very well. It's very clean. Hopefully you can see this. I'm taking a gamble. If I turn it over carefully, somebody was nice enough to mark all the tubes, the numbers, so they know which ones to put in when they have to replace it. There are other numbers, like on this big thing, the code 606305, 63 being the year again, on these two gold coppery bits in the middle, 06327 on that component, and this other one is 606-3-17, again 63. So most of this is from 63. It's awesome, which is my birth year. Yay! Which is just strange that I obsess over that. But I do. Alright, so I'm turning this over gently so the tubes don't get messed with. It's in a nice safe chair with a cushion. Oh, that's not screwed in. Okay. So, now for this. Let me see if I can. There you go. See, I don't know if it's focused. Let's see if I can use to show you the tube chart. Let me see if I can use my phone flashlight to provide a better view. So this will take some finagling. There it is. There we go. See the MH on the right, upper right? That's it. Boy, this thing's heavy. Or I'm getting old and weak. That's the tube chart. It's not all perfectly intact, but it's still there. And for me, the critical thing is the 2-letter stamp code. I mean, yes, the tube, what the tubes are interesting too, but are critical, so if you have to replace them. It's not much else. Sorry, I'm just kind of winging this as I lift. I did the fantastic stapling job of the wheat cloth. I got it done. Okay, setting that aside. All right. The moment of truth. Will we be able to get this thing to fit perfectly And if I know Will at Armadillo Amp Works, he probably did it spot on, because that's what he did for my 210 combo cab that I have the 62 Bandmaster sitting in. So I'm just checking everything. Okay. So I'm grabbing the chassis again. And I'm noting on the cord, I don't think there's a screw with it that you would affix to the side. So this might take a little doing. Again, you kind of just reverse the process, walking it in left to right. I'm going to get over to the other side so I can grab the thing. Seems to be fitting in rather perfectly. I'm kind of cheating by grabbing the numbers, or the knobs. We're almost there. Just got to do it very carefully. Not being able to see the I see what's happening. So this does happen occasionally when you have new tolex stuff, is the inside flaps of the tolex, I think on that side, this side seems to be fine, but this side it's coming undone, or I'm pushing against it, so I have to back this up again. Keep it balanced. And then I've got to get that on there. That's better. I think I get a better job of it now. There we go. That's getting there. We're not on top of the panel yet, but we're a lot closer, and we don't have the interference of the inner tolex. We're very close. There we go. There we go. I just sit it so the bottom is right flush. The bottom of the panel, I don't know if you can see. Can you see the Princeton above me? Let me go up a little. So just to show you what I'm doing, I'm making sure the panel bottom edge is flush with the grill cloth base. It's a piece of wood on this one. It's not clear because of a speaker, you know, which is obvious, I guess. Okay, we are in like Flint now. The other nice thing is the I can't turn it around until I have it all put together, because I don't want to knock the chassis off the little ledges. So Will pre-drilled the holes for the chassis straps, and I can feel the little dimples where they are. So it's just a matter of making sure. Oh, this is the nut for the bar screw. All right, cool. So I found this screw on the floor. This is for the cord, power cord, to screw into the side of the chassis to keep it like to the side. I will put that on the towel to keep it from flying away. It does look like it's a little deep in on the ledge. So, you know, that's fine. I don't know if you can even tell from here unless I zoom in. Don't know if that... Anyway, that's good enough. But you can see a bit of the ledge still. But that's fine. I mean, really what matters primarily is getting the chassis screws in and having the bulk of, you know, the... Oh, these only go this... This is only like about an inch and a half. So it is just, it's got about 2 or 3 millimeters on each side holding it, but then the front of it is held by the grill cloth piece of wood there, and then the screws will secure it in place. So the chassis strap screws. So taking out the new ones. Lining them up. Now the gamble is, and it may have to come forward or back a bit depending on where these are and where they line up to screw into the actual chassis. That'll be the challenge. Let's see, I might have to zoom back out. Sorry, I'm my own cameraman. No, that seems to be fine. There you go. Alright. Be very careful. That fit right all the way through, so either it got it perfectly or it's a clean miss. Oh, I hurt my hand. Ooh, I'm bleeding. That seems to be, I don't know. I'll have to check it. I've got to put the nuts on for each of these. Going back around. I must have banged myself on the thing. I am wounded for my art, or something. They fit pretty good. That's not moving now. So that's awesome. I think I got it. Alright, now the next trick is to secure the chassis straps. That's still staying flush. That's nice. Might have moved in a fraction, but that's all the better for it to come closer to this thing for added stability. This little wood ledge. Alright, making sure the screwdriver is set to the right forwardness. And I'm gonna, so this is the part because I'm just a big-handed, goofy guy. And I'm trying not to touch the tubes because you never want your oily fingers on the tubes. So this part might take a while, but hopefully I'll get it done right. Okay, there's the screw. It's getting it to stay on my finger. I'm sure maybe others have better solutions. But I'm also doing this at a lower level because usually I do it on my kitchen table. And it's a balancing act of keeping it, the nut on my finger and also finding the hole without knocking. I think I found it. Nope. I'm there. I'm there. Cool. It's so tense. Cool. I'll try to use, well, luckily these are covered, so I won't be messing up the tubes there. But you want to keep your fingers and oily fingers off the tubes as best you can. All right, this one should be a little easier because it's closer to home here in the back. Let me get my peepers on. It's funny when you get older and you start using old tiny words like my peepers and my cheaters and I guess because you don't care about being corny when you're like, I'll be hitting 60 next month, and most people tell me I have a big baby face. I think that's due to the extra weight I carry, but am I oversharing? Possibly. It's possible. Anyway, alright, so here we go. Now we got to do it with the other hand. That was perfect. That worked out great. So this is coming along quite well. So again, kudos to Will at Armadillo Amp Works. Yep, this one. I need to figure out where it is first there. I'm trying to avoid the tubes. Okay, there's the plain part. Alright. I think I have to put on my fourth finger. Didn't help that my hands were all slippery. Now, I don't want to poke through the bottom of this thing. It's in there. Whether it's poking through the bottom or not, we'll have to test. Alright. Move the camera back because I gotta move the amp forward a bit. Here's upwards by our heads so that we can hear them. Make sure we hear it. It looks cool. So there you go. We are done. Got the 63 and a giggable head and cab configuration. Don't need to worry about damaging the original. I'll put the back panel back on that one safely. I'm starting a new trend. We're going brown, baby. Going downtown with the brown. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Surfy Sonic, or Steve if you like. Feel free to watch all my other videos and goofiness and poor production values. And like and subscribe and hit the notification button. I try to put out a video at least once a week, so I'm not overdoing it. But I've got upcoming things. So I've got a couple new guitar days. I've got the third one there is a Ventera 2 50s Jazzmaster. And I got a bunch of other guitars I can show you clearly. It's good to live this age, be able to afford to do this stuff. Buy and sell and keep leveling up with different gear. It's lots of fun. Okay, hey, thanks. I'll talk to you later.